working with an if statement, and we created a week 2 dash branch project, and inside of there we created a start. And you can see we created this Bob person, and inside the branch we created a couple of if statements and else ifs. You can see there's our if statements. But what I want to do is show you another way to branch based on different criteria, and that's going to be a switch statement. So I'm going to create a new class inside of the week 2 branch project, and I'm going to create it in our package CST105N week W2 D1. So we're going to create new class, and we're going to call it switch. We've already got a main, so we're not going to add a main option down there. We're going to let that go ahead, and we're good to go. So let's go ahead and create a method inside of here. I'm going to create this static. We've been creating a lot of non-static ones, so I'm going to create a public static. We're not going to return anything, and we're going to be check student grade. Make this name a little bit longer here. And we're going to ask for the user print line, and we're going to say enter a letter grade. So we're going to see what kind of letter grade they have there, and we are going to store that in a char called grade, and we're going to set it as to sc.nextLine. And we're going to see we have a problem immediately. We cannot take, first we got to create our SC here. So we're going to go ahead and create our scanner SC equals new scanner system dot in, and then we're going to have to import our scanner. We're getting pretty good at this, so I'm flying through it a little quicker than maybe I normally would, but since we trust you, now that I have the SC. So now we have a problem here is that, we're in a static method and we can't access a non-static attribute when we're inside a static method. So let's go ahead and make that a static scanner. So now we have access, but now we have another error here, and this is where Eclipse comes in handy. So, even though we have these errors, it's important to understand how to read them and how to understand it. But Eclipse is telling us we cannot convert from a string to a char. So I can't take this, which is producing a string, and try to cram it into a char, because string is bigger than a char. So what we can do is we can add char. Actually, let's do to uppercase. Let's go ahead and get it whatever they type into an uppercase, and then we're going to add char at, and we want the very first character of whatever they type in. So if I happen to type in alpha, I'm going to still get the A value that goes into it. So method of is undefined for string to uppercase. There we go. Let's go ahead and get all our case in our own case there. So whatever the first letter of whatever they type in is going to go into grade. So now that we have that in that piece of it, and what I want to do is build a switch structure. A switch structure needs to know what kind of, what variable it's going to switch on. So in this case, we want to look at grade, and we want to take a look at each of the grades, and we're going to build kind of an if statement, but in a little different format. So we're going to say if grade equals A, and we're going to do that using a case statement. So if it equals A, we are going to do something. We're going to system out print line great student. Okay, and we'll close that, and then we're going to break out of our loop, or break out of our branch. We don't want to check anything else. Now, to save some time, we're just going to do a quick copy and paste here, and we're going to go ahead and give it a B student, and we're going to give it a C student, we're going to give it a D student, we're going to give it an F student, and we're going to say go back to school. If you're a D, so close. If you're a C, you are an average student, and if you're a B student, try a little harder, and we have messages. So kind of like an if statement. So what's happening is it's saying if grade equals A, if the character grade equals A, print out that message, and then break out. Don't do anything else. If it's a B, if grade equals B, do that one. If grade equals C, do this one. If grade equals D, do that one. If grade equals F, that's the particular case. So let's go ahead and run this. We're going to check student grades. So we're going to go back over to start, and we are going to use our switch class and dot, and there's our check grade, because remember we're doing this as a static one, so we're using the class name. We're not creating an object, we're just accessing the static one that goes into it. And if I run that, oops, let me go ahead and stop that just for a second. So let's go ahead and close that, and we want to comment out these other ones so just we don't kind of bog down with some stuff that we've already covered in previous classes. Go ahead and run that again, enter a grade, and we're going to type in A, great student. Let's go ahead and run it again, and we'll put an F in there, and we'll go back to school. And this time I'm going to spell out the word. So we're going to spell out fail. Now remember, the way we have it coded is we're typing in a string, but we're only going to get the first letter. Let's go ahead and run that. Oops, sorry, fail, and hit enter. Go back to school. So it worked even in that particular case. So from a switch statement, right now what we have here is we have a kind of a built-in or a more structured if statement. So if grade equals A, if grade equals B, if grade equals C. What if grade equals none of these? So if I run this right now and I put in a G, okay, the program ended. Nothing actually happened. So we want to create what's called a catch-all. It's the else statement in a loop, in a if statement. So we're going to create a default. Whoops, make sure I spell default right. And the default then is going to say, let's go ahead and print out of here. Something went wrong, and I've got all kinds of typos inside of there. So it went wrong. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this now. Let's make sure everything still works. We're going to put an A in there. That looks good. Great student. Run it again, and let's go ahead and put beta. That should give us our B student. Try a little harder and run one more time, and this time we're going to put in a Z. Whoops. Run that again. Put in a I'm running the wrong one here, so let's make sure I run the right code here. Let's go ahead and put a Z in, and something went wrong. So what happens is it checked all of my checks. It says, okay, grade did not equal A, B, C, D, or F, but if it didn't equal any of those, my else statement becomes my my default, and then something went wrong. Okay, that's the basic structure for a switch statement. You can compare on integers and chars, but some of the things will not compare very well, like doubles and things like that. And this is only based on equal, grade equals, grade equals. There's no greater than or less than or ranges in the Java environment. Okay, thank you very much.